Hey Bears, Mr. Kicklighter here with our social studies lesson for today. So what we're going to do, and I'm just going to dive right into this. Basically, what I want you to be doing today is we're going to learn how to use the inquiry method for studying. This method can be used in other things than social studies. You can take this skill and use it in life. You will use it in life. So pay attention, and here we go. First, I want to go ahead and say that after you watch this video, or maybe while you're watching this video, you will also get a copy of this entire slideshow so that you can follow along on your own computer. I am going to ask you to do a task at the end, so please stay tuned for the entire video. I'm trying to make it less than 10 minutes so that it won't be too much or too burdensome for you guys to watch the whole thing and get done what needs to get done. Bottom line, we're learning about the inquiry method today. We're going to do it through the lens of social studies, and then I'm going to ask you to do something at the end of this video. So let's get started. What is the inquiry method? So at the center, you have inquiry. Inquiry means that I am going to ask about something or question something. When you receive an inquiry, that is somebody asking for something from you. So you are going to be asking questions and then working actively to answer those questions by using three things, or by using you're going to actively work to create a product. So you're first going to ask questions, right? Some of you may have remember them from last week. We have what we call a compelling question that is going to be an overarching question that we can ask several other supporting questions that will help us to answer the compelling question in the end. So you're going to use sources. Sources are going to be things that you find on the internet. Oh, you know what? Let me move on to the next slide. So first off, we talk about the questions, okay? The questions require the use of sources and sometimes are sparked from those same sources. Sources are things that you find that might answer the question. And guess what, guys and girls? If you do a Google search and you find something on that Google search that you think might be true, and you go through and you make sure, like you look at it and make sure that it's from somebody who is an expert. Remember, we look for experts. We also, Wikipedia is okay to use. I think that I'm okay with you using Wikipedia. Just don't use one thing all the time, right? You want to use several different things. And then, so questions also give purpose and direction to the tasks that we're going to perform, okay? Which is going to be part of this. So, our compelling question for this week is, if we live in the present, why should we care about the past? All right. And then our supporting question for that is going to be, how does the Constitution structure the government? Notice these are two questions, but this answer can help me to answer this question. So then I come to the next slide here and it says sources. Sources deliver disciplinary content. That simply means social studies content in our assignment today. And it answers questions through arguments. So people will write papers that they will use evidence to support an argument they have. Maybe somebody thinks that we shouldn't have uniforms in school. Well, they have to go through and do research before they can argue that we can't have uniforms in school. You can't just go up there and say, I don't like uniforms, so we shouldn't have them. That won't fly. You have to say things like, wearing uniforms sometimes makes the students feel out of place. This, or maybe wearing uniforms limits students' ability to be creative in the clothes that they wear. You have to come up with sound arguments. I looked up the first question, the what we call it, the compelling question: if we live in the present, why should we care about the past? And I found a really cool quote by John F. Kennedy, who said, "We celebrate the past to awaken the future." So I wrote that down. I kept that in my notes. That is going to support my argument. Okay. I also looked up the second question. I looked up, what is the Constitution? What is the structure of the how does the Constitution structure our government? And I found in the Constitution itself, because I looked at it, it was in the Constitution. It says that it has three main functions that structure our government. And then it went on to tell me, and I put dot, dot, dot there, meaning there is more that you'll need to get out of that. You'll need to talk about the three functions. It protects people's freedoms and liberties. It gives us a federal government that has three different branches: the legislative, the judicial, and the legislative, the judicial, and the executive branches. And it also functions by sharing power between the states and the national government. And this is important. So then I came down here and I thought about this and I wanted to use a task, right? So we have four different types of tasks. And what tasks do, they answer, organize, and focus a question. Okay. So that is what we're going to be looking at now. So your tasks can be one of four things. It can be an organizational task, like something that you put together with all the information that you've done, and then you present that as a final product. It can be a discussion that you record between you and your parent, you and a sibling, you and another classmate. It can be an argument or argumentative, where you say, I would argue that, and then you record yourself either writing it down, you can record it on video, or it can be an action. So, some kind of a project where maybe because you realized something was happening in the past, you decide to go out and be an active participant in making change in our community. So, this is the finished product of what I got when I chose to do the argumentative task. And pay attention because this is the one that I want you to try first. And remember, when you do it, you can record a video as well, or you can write it out with words. So, here is my video. Very short video. Only took me less than a minute to do, to record, put it on there. That is an argumentative task right there, ladies and gentlemen. Notice how I used all of the information that I had gotten from my sources. I used my John F. Kennedy quote. I used the information that I got by answering the supporting question. And my argument was trying to answer the compelling question. Why should we care about the past? Well, we should care about the past because. Now, you're going to go to your assignment. It says, your turn. The compelling question is, if we live in the present, why should we care about the past? Remember, that's the same one as before. Your supporting question is, did laws protect everyone equally? You'll need to do your own research on the internet, find some sources, take a few notes, and then I have down here a blank slide where it says insert argumentative task here. You can make a video and put that video in here as your argumentative task, or you can just write an argument out. I argue that, and you can just type it out here. I look forward to seeing your responses, and thank you for watching this video.